what's right there. Some vitamin water. I want some too, Sally. Yeah. This is what you like to. We're going to see. Oh my God. Hi. Cut it out, you
So I just need to say hello.
Hello, I love your style.
Oh, you can't see them, Sally.
So I
say hi, Poppy.
Poppy.
Poppy. Oh, she's not coming. No.
I just need to say hello.
Oh.
Hello, I love your style.
Anyway, got the fireplace. Oh, that's bright. Got the stockings. This one, this one, and this one. Then we got this one, this one, this one. No, it wasn't. Oh, there's mistletoe under the TV, but you can't see it. Yeah, so the chair's pretty comfy and all. You should buy it. You know, it's a whole thing.
Does it smell like a Poppy because you owe Poppy?
She doesn't. They don't know who Poppy is, Maddie.
Oh, it's a dog.
They know that, Maddie.
So you love our style?
Oh, as you probably know, our dad's your principal. I wish he's my principal because our principal is like the worst. I was like, don't go to bring cold. Anyways. Okay, well.
I could see your video.
Well, so Madeline can see me on the video. On the video.
I want to read a book. I want to read a book.
No, you can't read it yet. Dad's going to read that. You can't spoil it. You can't spoil the books. Okay, Madeline, no spoiling. So we're just going to give you some company while we wait. So, not much to do, you know. Let's we talk about
That's your principal is worst.
Maddie! No, don't say that. Just say that.
You don't even
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
We don't even come to the principal there. But
Violet, don't say that. Get back. I got it. They won't let you see. They can't even see you, Madeline. You're not doing it. You're not doing it. Oh, damn, Madeline. I'm angry. Oh, that's weird. Shh.
What is up, Panthers? Mr. Burstein here, live from my house. You've probably seen some of my children running around, so apologies in the future. Apologies about that. If they scream or come over and say hi, they're just as excited to have their dad reading to you guys as hopefully you are tonight. So I got a couple stories here that I want to read you guys, some holiday stories, and we'll get started with the first one, which is, how does Santa go down the chimney? That's right. So here we go. Here are some ideas of how Santa goes down the chimney. How does he do it? How does it work? Does he cinch up his belt? Or shrink himself down to the size of a mouse? Or stretch out like taffy and step in one leg at a time? Maybe Santa can turn into fire, but probably not. Does he go head first, or feet first, or neither? Does Santa ever get stuck partway down and need one of his reindeer to give him a kick? Does his suit get real sooty because chimneys have soot? And then does Santa do laundry before he goes to the next house? And if you don't have a chimney, what happens then? Maybe Santa knows about the key under the flower pot, even though nobody is ever supposed to mention the key under the flower pot. So how would he find out about that? Does he flatten himself and slide under your door? Or does he slip through the pipes and come out of your faucet? If you've got a mail slot, I bet Santa folds up like a letter and has a reindeer pop him in through. And I bet the stamp on Santa is one of those Santa stamps too. Dogs must like Santa very much, or else they'd bark. He probably carries treats in his pocket and knows just where dogs like to be scratched. He tells them they're good and whispers their name, which he knows without even looking at their collars. I bet he lets them give him kisses right on his beard if they're a kind of dogs that like to lick. Can Santa see in the dark? Does he wear night vision goggles that make everything green? I bet he'd like that because Santa likes green. Or heat vision goggles, because he might like red better. Should we leave out carrots, not cookies, on Christmas Eve, since they're good for his eyesight? Santa doesn't look too thrilled with that. No, the twinkling lights on the tree will make enough light for Santa to see, tiptoeing past chairs without bumping his knee. To leave a present or two or three and get a kiss from the dog if it's a dog that licks, and take a cookie or two or three and then leave. Santa goes up the chimney the same way he comes down, and I have no idea how Santa does that. But I'm so glad he can. All right, well, that's the first book tonight. Thank you, Miss Westcote, for giving me that one. That one's called How Does Santa Go Down the Chimney? And it is in the Parkmead Library if you wanted to borrow it. All right, you guys. So the next one for this evening is about a bear who wants to come inside for Hanukkah. Hanukkah is another holiday that's celebrated around this time. And the first night of Hanukkah is actually the same time as Christmas this year. So don't invite a bear inside for Hanukkah. Don't, I repeat, don't invite a bear inside for Hanukkah. Uh-oh, now you've done it. Ding dong. At first, you might think it's a great idea because it's always nice to invite guests inside to celebrate. The bear helps decorate. And he lifts you way up to get the fanciest menorah. While you set the table, the bear pours the water. Together, you picked out different colored Hanukkah candles to set in the menorah. After you sing the blessings over the candles, he plays the dreidel song on his menorah, on his harmonica. And the bear gets all cozy as Mom reads a story for Hanukkah. But once he smells the food, it's very big trouble. He slurps the applesauce and devours the latkes. Then he eats all the chocolate gelt and tears apart the gifts, searching for more candy. I warned you, don't invite a bear inside for Hanukkah. This is a very big mess, you mumble. You have to leave. The bear's shoulders slump down as he leaves. You see a tear rolling down his cheek. Uh-oh, now you've done it. You made the bear sad. You tiptoe behind the bear and follow him to his den. You need to be very, very quiet. Shh. You're surprised to see a tree branch menorah right inside his window. I didn't know that bears celebrate Hanukkah, you mumble a bit too loudly. He nods, wipes away his tears, and hands the menorah to you as a gift. Thank you say. You don't want the bear to celebrate alone, but if you invite him inside, he'll just cause a very big mess. Then you get a brilliant idea. Come with me. I know what to do. A very big smile comes across his face. The bear puts you on his shoulders and carries you back to your house. You and the bear set up the menorah in the backyard. Dad fries latkes over the fire pit. Mom brings you a huge plate of jelly donuts and says, "Who wants Suvganayat?" I know I did not say that right. Jelly donuts. It turns out that bears love jelly donuts. Who knew? Everyone sits around the fire pit having the very best time. Remember, never invite a bear inside for Hanukkah. It's much more fun celebrating with a bear outside. The end. All right. So next we're going to read a story that I really like. And it's called The Sound of Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is also a holiday that is celebrated around this time. Come close, gather round, listen to the sound of Kwanzaa. Loving words and greeting family, we stand together for Umoja. Umoja means unity. One black candle gently shines to welcome our first Kwanzaa night. Come close, gather round, listen to the sound of Kwanzaa. Working hands and ancient stories, we learn our traditions for Kujichagulia. Kujichagulia means self-determination. One red candle gently flickers to honor our second Kwanzaa night. Come close, gather round, listen to the sound of Kwanzaa. Banging hammers and sweeping brooms, we share the chores for Ujima. Ujima means collective work and responsibility. One green candle gently shimmers to lighten our third Kwanzaa night. Come close, gather round, listen to the sound of Kwanzaa. Laughing shoppers and chanting merchants, we support our neighborhoods for Ujamaa. Ujamaa means cooperative economics. Another red candle gently twinkles to brighten our fourth Kwanzaa night. Come close, gather round, listen to the sound of Kwanzaa. Sharing dreams and setting goals, we plan our future for Nia. Nia means purpose. Another green candle gently glows to illuminate our fifth Kwanzaa night. Come close, gather round, listen to the sound of Kwanzaa. Beating drums and singing voices, we perform for Kumba. Kumba means creativity. Another red candle gently burns to warm our sixth Kwanzaa night. Come close, gather round, listen to the sound of Kwanzaa. Thankful prayers and loud harambes, we celebrate our lives for Imani. Imani means faith. The last green candle gently sparkles to bless our seventh Kwanzaa night. Harambe, Harambe, Harambe. So if you and your family celebrate Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa to all of you. Do you want to come say hi, Maddie? And this is my daughter, one of my daughters. This is Maddie. Say hi, Maddie.
Hi.
She wanted to say hello to you guys. All right. And I'm going to read two of her books that she really enjoys. And then I will say goodnight to all of you. So the first one is Olive, the Other Reindeer. So this book came out actually when I was a younger kid. And my kids really like it. It's called Olive, the Other Reindeer. Every day, Olive took her daily walk, winter, spring, summer, or fall. Today was a winter's day. It was the holidays. There was music playing outdoors. People were singing along. Olive, the other reindeer. Olive was too shy to sing. She hummed. Back at her doghouse, Olive was wrapping presents and listening to the radio. She heard the same song again. Olive, the other reindeer. Olive, the other reindeer, Olive sang. Olive, the reindeer, said Olive. I thought I was a dog. Huh, I must be a reindeer. It was the time of year when all reindeer reported to the North Pole to help Santa Claus. Olive put down her scissors and carefully and marched out the door. Olive, the other reindeer. She took one bus and then two buses. She got there just in time. Santa was checking his list for the second time. Elves were busy helping the reindeer and loading the sleigh with presents for all of the good girls and boys. Everyone was getting ready to go. Olive took her place. Santa noticed that there was a little dog in the lineup. Santa knew a lot about dogs. For instance, they can't fly. But as it was time to go, he decided to give Olive a chance. Comet, the biggest reindeer, used a piece of extra ribbon to make sure Olive was tied in safe and tight. Now they were ready to go. Olive was surprised how easy it was to fly. The other reindeer were very curious about the new helper. They looked at Olive so much they weren't watching where they were going. Crash! They flew smack into the top of a too-tall tree. Oh dear, said Santa. My sleigh is stuck in this tree. I'll have to cut it free. Olive clung to the side of the tree. She tried to fly up to help Santa, but she could not. She climbed up slowly and started chewing. Chewing sticks was something Olive could do well. "Thank you, Olive," said Santa Claus as they got back on their way. They had not traveled far when Olive's nose began to twitch. Olive smelled trouble. It was the smell of gumdrop candies as they fell from the sleigh. Drop, drop, drop. Olive barked and Santa knew what to do. He steered the reindeer down and around so that all the gumdrops fell, plop, 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 back into the toy sack. "We were very lucky not to lose a single gumdrop," thought Olive. Then she heard a strange sound. It was the musical note. She spun around on her string to see the night sky filled with falling flutes. Olive had to howl louder than the wind instruments. This was not music to Santa's ears. "First gumdrops and now flutes," thought Santa. "There must have been a torn hole in my sled." "Prepare for an emergency landing," Santa instructed. The sleigh landed in a snowy field full of flutes. Luckily, Olive was very good at fetching sticks. It's something dogs love to do. Before Santa had finished patching the hole in the sleigh, Olive had returned each and every flute back to the sack. "Ho, ho, ho," said Santa. "We're ready to go." They were running late, but after a little while, all the good children received their presents and Santa and his team headed home. They were almost home when they got caught in the dreaded North Pole fog. The reindeer slowed down until it was only the breeze that moved them along. The fog was as thick as a pillow. It made everyone feel sleepy. Then Santa remembered something about dogs. They are expert smellers. "Olive, I'd hate to be late for breakfast this year," he said. "Mrs. Claus has planned a parade of cookies. You can almost smell them, can't you? Olive, could you smell the cookies?" "Olive, won't you guide my sleigh this morning?" asked Santa. Olive moved to the front of the reindeer. Thanks to Olive's nose and Mrs. Claus baking, they made it all the way back to the North Pole. All of the elves sang out a cheer. "Hooray, hooray! Santa and the reindeer and the little doggy are back." Back at the North Pole, it was a glorious morning. After eating lots of good food, it was time to open presents. The reindeers got jump ropes and the elves got toy trains. Santa reached into his toy sack. There was just one present left. It was for Olive. It was her very own set of reindeer antlers. They fit perfectly. Then everyone went outside to play reindeer games. The end. So just because somebody says you can't do something does not mean it's true, you guys. Anyone can fly like a reindeer if they just put their minds to it. All right, and the last book for this evening is...
They can do anything!
They can do anything. The last book of the evening is called The Last Christmas Tree, and I like this book because it teaches you that if you just believe, you can do anything. It'll happen. So here we go. Almost exactly a month before Christmas, the trees arrived for the holiday. On the day before, the lot had been empty. There were balsam firs, spruces, and pines all lined up neatly at a slight tilt. In the middle of one row, wedged between two huskier companions, one particular tree trembled with excitement. It was not very tall, and in truth, a bit hunched over, not to mention the branches that were missing here and there. Still, no tree was more filled with the spirit of the season. Surely everyone would see that at once. The little tree could hardly wait to get picked. What a moment that would be. It imagines itself covered with lights and ornaments with presents tucked in slightly underneath. The other trees didn't seem to care about who picked them or how long it took. But the little tree kept its hopes high. It wanted someone special. Someone who was as excited about Christmas as it was. As the days passed, the trees were sold one by one. A few people made up their minds in an instant. They knew that what they wanted, and that was that. Others went back and forth for what seemed like hours, and sometimes was. One family pulled out the little tree for a closer look, but they were laughing meanly and shaking their heads the whole time. The little tree was secretly glad when they left it behind. As time went on, the remaining trees were spread out, the better to show themselves off. No longer hemmed in, the little tree tried to stand up as straight and puff itself out as much as possible, but nobody seemed to notice. The lot got emptier and emptier. The few unsold trees found their prices marked down again and again and again. On Christmas Eve, the little tree looked to the left and looked to the right. It was all alone. A sign was hung on it in big letters. It wasn't an ornament, not really, but the tree chose to think otherwise. The night was cold and clear, and the little tree got rather sleepy. Just before dawn, it thought it heard a jingling sound, but it was hard to tell. Jingle, 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 jingle. The next thing the tree knew, it was gently picked up and placed in an empty sack. This wasn't what the tree had expected at all. Then the earth fell away. Far below, the other trees were covered in all of their finery. The little tree had no idea where it was going or how long the journey would take. But when it arrived at last, the little Christmas tree was finally home. And with that, you guys, I say good night. I hope to see you all tomorrow. And just remember, we have a minimum day on Friday. Stay positive, Panthers, and don't forget to smile.